Gaslighting is like someone sneaking into your brain, rearranging the furniture, and then convincing you the mess was your fault all along. It's a psychological Jedi mind trick where the manipulator makes you question your own reality, memory, and sometimes even your sanity. Picture this. You're sure you left your keys on the table, but the gaslighter whoops in with,
Keys? What keys? You never had keys.
or worse.
You're always so forgetful, honey. It's cute.
Over time, they will make you feel like you're starring in a surreal psychological thriller, where nothing you remember actually happened, leaving you doubting yourself and relying on their clarity. It's a slow, subtle tactic that turns you into a confused detective in your own life, all while the gaslighter basks in their power, smugly rewriting reality. Guilt tripping is like a passive-aggressive invoice that you never agreed to pay. It's like the art of making you feel bad for, well, existing. The guilt tripper will whip out lines like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me." Or the classic, "If you really loved me, you wouldn't do this." Translation. I'm going to make you feel like the villain in the soap opera until you do exactly what I want. The beauty or horror of the guilt tripping is that it doesn't even require logic. It just preys on your empathy until you're bending over backward to make amends for your crimes you didn't even commit. Meanwhile, the guilt tripper sits back, sipping their metaphorical tea, basking in their satisfaction of your self-inflicted punishment. And honestly, you can't help but almost give a standing ovation for the sheer nerve they brought to the performance. Almost. Love bombing is a kind of emotional manipulation disguised as a whirlwind romance, complete with fireworks, rose petals, and the soundtrack of endless compliments. It starts like a rom-com on steroids, constant texting, over-the-top compliment, and declarations like, "You're my soulmate. I know at the moment you order fries with extra ketchup." But don't get too cozy in this whirlwind of attention, because the love bomber isn't here to love you. They're here to control you, you dumb. Once you're hooked and basking in their adoration, they will start pulling the rug out with little games like, "Why don't you care about me as much as I care about you?" And suddenly, you're left chasing that initial flood of attention like a caffeine addict at 3 p.m. The best part? They will act like they're doing you a favor, all while turning your emotions into a yo-yo they control. It's not love. It's emotional fireworks designed to dazzle you into submission. And by the time the smoke clears, you're left wondering what hit you. Emotional blackmail is like someone holding your feeling hostage and demanding ransom. Except the ransom is your dignity, time, and mental health. It's when they whip out phrases like,
"If you really loved me, you would do this."
or,
"Fine, go ahead and leave. I'll just sit here and suffer alone forever."
Translation. I'm going to guilt, threaten, or shame you into doing what I want. And I will act like you're the bad guy if you don't. The brilliance and absurdity of emotional blackmail is that it's a lose-lose situation. You either cave to their demands and feel like a pushover, or resist and get painted as the villain in their tragic show, starring you as the ungrateful antagonist and them as the self-sacrificing hero. Playing the victim is the emotional manipulation's Oscar-worthy performance, where the manipulator turns every situation into their personal tragedy and casts you as the problem. Picture this. It's your birthday, but somehow it's your fault for not reminding them. Or worse, they mess up and magically become the one who's hurt, because you dare to call them out. Their favorite lines include,
"Why is everyone always against me?
and the famous,
I guess I just can't do anything right."
Suddenly, you're stuck consoling them for their own bad behavior while they milk your sympathy like it's a cash cow. Sure, it might look convincing at first, but once you realize the tears are just crocodile-level special effects, you can't help but wonder if they rehearse this act in the mirror. Spoiler, they probably do. Silent treatment is another form of emotional manipulation, where the manipulator pretends their vocal cords are on strike until you crumble under the weight of their icy silence. It's not just avoiding conversation, It's a full-blown art form of ignoring you so hard that you start questioning if you've turned invisible. They will sit there, scrolling their phone, glaring at the wall, or dramatically sighing, all while you're left thinking, did I offend them? Or is this just their new hobby? And for them, it requires zero effort. No explanations, no responsibility, just a big pile of unresolved tension that you're expected to clean up. Meanwhile, they're taking pleasure in the power trip of your growing discomfort, probably thinking, yes, my silent rat is working perfectly. It's childish, infuriating, and oddly impressive in its simplicity. Triangulation is like a 3-player chess game where the manipulator drags the third person into the drama just to keep you off balance. It's the classic let you and them fight tactic where they stir the pot, pit people against each other, and then sit back like a puppet master enjoying the show. They will say things like, well, I was talking to Tommy and he really agreed with me, or you know, they think you're overreacting too, instantly making you doubt yourself and putting you on the defensive. Meanwhile, the third person, usually clueless or equally manipulated, is unknowingly dragged into the chaos. And the best part is they got to look like the innocent mediator, all while quietly enjoying the mess they created. It's unnecessary, exhausting, and way too coordinated for its own good. Projection is like the ultimate reverse card in the manipulator's deck, where a person attributes their undesirable thoughts, feelings, or behaviors onto someone else, rather than acknowledging them in themselves. For example, if someone feels insecure about their own honesty, they might accuse others of being dishonest. Or if they're angry, they might accuse others of being hostile, even if they're the ones feeling and acting that way. Like they're holding a mirror, but instead of looking into it, they are pointing it at you and shouting, see, this is all your fault. And if you get used to this routine, you might actually start doubting yourself. If projection were a product, it would have a tagline like, deflect, deny, distract. 100% accountability free. It's maddening, widely effective, and almost admirable in its audacity to rewrite reality entirely in their favor. Since many of you were crying and sobbing over the use of AI and how destructive it could be for the environment, I decided to do the drawings myself and use my own voice. And if I hear anyone saying, but you have a stupid accent now, I'm gonna be under your bed when you get home. Thanks for watching.